Marco tried to maintain a cheerful tone as he spoke to his mother Clarissa over the phone, but beneath his forced smile was nervousness. He spun a web of flattering lies, claiming that their father Holden constantly missed her and even read romance novels to learn how to win her forgiveness. But Clarissa was not easily deceived. She knew Holden too well. He despised reading, and if he ever stared at his phone, it was to watch videos of women, not to study the art of love. Her cold laughter sliced through Marco's words, reminding him that she had long stopped believing in his father's sincerity. In truth, Holden's life had become a shadow of what it once was, since his self inflicted mutilation, his pride and desires had been stripped away. He stayed with Clarissa out of necessity, not affection, trapped in a marriage that was more of a power struggle than a reunion. Divorce would mean losing everything: his wealth, his reputation, and the comfort his family enjoyed under Clarissa's influence. So he chose humiliation over freedom, living in quiet resentment as Clarissa's cold authority ruled their home. He hated her but also feared her, knowing that in Jensburg, no one could stand against Clarissa Farrell and win. Marco, however, pitied his father. He had grown up watching Holden lower his head, and that image haunted him. Though Clarissa had built an empire, her children, especially her sons, lived in the shadow of her strength. To Marco, his father was not only a victim, but also a reflection of every man crushed under Clarissa's dominance. So when Clarissa accused Holden of deceit, Marco impulsively spoke up, his tone defensive and sharp. He questioned whether his mother had ever truly loved his father, suggesting that perhaps she had once loved someone else, and that her heart had never belonged to the man she married. Catherine, who sat quietly beside him, was stunned. Her brother, usually cautious and submissive before their mother, had dared to accuse Clarissa of emotional betrayal. It was reckless, foolish even, and as soon as Marco realized what he had said, panic set in. Clarissa's icy voice cut him off before he could explain. She reminded him that who she once admired before marriage was none of his concern, and that no child had the right to judge their parent. Her tone was final, her authority absolute. Marco's hands trembled as he apologized. Sweat trickled down his temple, and he could barely hold the phone steady. His boldness had vanished as quickly as it had appeared, replaced by fear. Clarissa ended the call with one last command: to help Catherine more at the company. Her patience with him had worn thin. Marco promised he would obey, and when the line went dead, relief washed over him like a cold tide. Catherine watched as her brother wiped the sweat from his brow, handing him a tissue without a word. Marco confessed that he had no idea how he'd found the nerve to speak the way to their mother. She teased him for it, telling him that maybe he had eaten too much bravery that morning. But beneath her calm exterior, she found the exchange amusing. Marco, usually the proud eldest son, was terrified of the woman who had given him everything and could just as easily take it all away. Their conversation soon turned to Marco's own life, and Catherine reminded him that his fear of their mother stemmed from his own mistakes. His infidelity had destroyed his marriage and the respect of those around him. Marco tried to defend himself, but Catherine was unrelenting. To her, betrayal was unforgivable. If a man ever cheated on her, she would not hesitate to cast him aside, no matter the cost. Marco was speechless. Her ruthless mirrored their mothers perfectly. He half joked that whoever married Catherine would have a miserable life. To him, she was too young, too uncompromising, a woman who would never bow to any man. He suggested she settle for someone mild and obedient, a weak man who would not challenge her authority. Catherine rejected the idea outright, saying she would rather remain single forever than live with someone spineless. Amused, Marco teased that she would eventually need a daughter to pass on her legacy. Perhaps, he said, she could adopt his own child and raise her as her successor. The thought made him chuckle, but for a fleeting moment, even Catherine considered the idea. In a family where power was everything, bloodline and loyalty were often blurred. And as the two siblings stood in that quiet office, the distance between them seemed vast. One was ruled by fear, the other by strength. Yet both were bound by the shadow of their formidable mother, a woman whose control reached into every corner of their lives. In the Farrell family, love was secondary to power, and even the simplest conversation could turn into a battlefield.